What if everything you believed about being an American citizen could change with the stroke of a pen? Imagine waking up in a country where being born on US soil no longer guaranteed your right to call it home. That's not science fiction. That's the real political battle playing out in America today. And it all hinges on a constitutional clause written over 150 years ago, the 14th Amendment. It's a law that doesn't even mention race, yet it was born from the ashes of slavery, shaped by centuries of legal battles, and now stands at the heart of one of the most emotional and contentious debates in modern US history: birthright citizenship. After the Civil War, the United States tried to redefine itself. 3 major constitutional amendments reshaped the nation's identity: abolishing slavery, granting African American men the right to vote, and crucially, granting citizenship to anyone born on American soil. But it's the 14th Amendment, and specifically the phrase "all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof," that quietly carried a revolutionary promise. That if you were born here, you belong here. But today, that very promise is under threat. Fast forward to 2025. On his first day back in office, Donald Trump signed an executive order that would end birthright citizenship for the children of anyone temporarily or unlawfully in the US. The reaction was immediate and intense. Federal courts quickly blocked the order, calling birthright citizenship a foundation of our democracy. But the legal war is far from over. Will the Supreme Court uphold Trump's move? Will they strike it down? Nobody knows, and that uncertainty fuels a fire that's been smoldering for almost 2 centuries. The debate isn't new. In fact, it began even before the Civil War. In 1857, a man named Dred Scott, born into slavery, sued for his freedom after being taken to free territory. The case made it to the Supreme Court, which delivered a chilling verdict. Not only was Scott not free, but no black person, slave or free, could be considered a US citizen. It was a ruling that effectively split the nation into 2 classes: those who belonged and those who never could. That decision was a major factor leading to the Civil War. And when the North won, they set out to right that wrong, not just through law, but through the Constitution itself. First came the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which established that anyone born in the US was a citizen. But laws can be repealed, so Congress doubled down and wrote birthright citizenship into the 14th Amendment, a permanent guarantee. But the words "subject to the jurisdiction thereof" left room for debate. What did that mean? Did it include the children of immigrants? Lawmakers at the time actually addressed this head-on. Records from the Senate debates show that they intended for children born on US soil, regardless of race or parental nationality, to be considered citizens. One senator even clarified that the child of an Asian immigrant was just as American as a child of a European. And yet, the amendment passed without unanimous support, leaving seeds of resentment that have sprouted again and again through history. Which brings us to the first real test of the 14th Amendment. The case of Wong Kim Ark. Born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrant parents, he was denied re-entry to the US after a visit to China, despite being born on American soil. His case hit the Supreme Court in 1898. The question was simple but seismic. Does the 14th Amendment make Wong Kim Ark a citizen? The court's answer: yes, decisively. They ruled that unless someone was the child of a diplomat, a Native American from a non-taxed tribe, or part of a foreign army occupying US land, they were subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. And so anyone born here, including Wong, was a citizen. And yet, here we are again, over a century later, with the same questions echoing louder than ever. Roughly 40% of Americans believe children born to undocumented immigrants should not receive citizenship. The political divide is stark. The legal arguments are complex, but at the heart of it all is a simple question with enormous consequences. Who gets to belong? This story isn't just about law. It's about identity. It's about power. It's about the soul of a nation constantly trying to redefine who it includes and who it excludes. And as long as that question remains unresolved, birthright citizenship will remain not just a policy debate, but a mirror reflecting America's deepest anxieties